So, Assalamualaikum and hi. My name is Muhammad Iqmal Jamaluddin, and together with my group members, Muhammad Amanullah and also Muhammad Zulkamal, we will be presenting in regards to the procedures as asked by our client, Ali Hadi, in regards to his purchase for a house from a developer. So, some of the materials that shall be highlighted for our purpose is that the sale and purchase agreement under the Housing Development Act will be executed by the purchaser and the developer. The housing project and the protection of the purchaser's interests are very crucial. The memorandum of transfer, or shall be known as Form 14A, will also be executed for the transfer of property from the developer to the purchaser. Form 40A shall require the registration to be done at the relevant land office or registry. The purchaser has option to either pay the purchase price with cash or obtain financial loan from the relevant bank. However, in our case, Ali Hadi will be asking for a loan from the bank. If the purchaser wants to obtain a loan to finance purchase of property from the developer, loan or facility agreement, and Form 16A will be executed. Form 16A needs to be registered at the relevant land office or registry also. A brief conveyancing procedure will be presented in this slide, whereby the first one, where there will be a launching phase, where there will be launching by developer, the potential buyer makes their choice, and then there will be booking session and booking fees. Then we will move on to the pre-execution, whereby there will be the appointment of solicitor, preparation of document, issuance of letter of offer, or also should be known as LO, and then there will be a conduct of land search. Then we go to the execution. The execution of the SPA, the payment of deposit, which will be 10%, and then there will be also the payment of the legal fees. And then after that, we'll move on to the post-execution, where then there will be stamping and then the adjudication of purchase. So, to answer Ali Hadi's inquiry, the first one will be the application of loan by Ali Hadi. So, let's look at the steps for the application of loan by Ali Hadi. In regards to the application of loan, after the stamping of the SPA, the purchaser may apply for a loan from a licensed bank or from the Lembaga Pinjaman Perumahan Sektor Awam, or is also known as LPPSA. Then after the loan has been approved, the bank will then issue the LO to the purchaser, who is now also known as the borrower. Both the purchaser needs to accept the letter of offer and also return it to the bank. Then the purchaser's loan is called the end financing and the bank is called the end. So to apply this for Ali Hadi currently is applying the loan from MTB, which he must do so upon the receipt of the duly stamped SPA. Then MTB will have to consider whether Ali Hadi will be eligible for the loan or not. And if the loan is approved, a letter of offer will be issued to Ali Hadi by MTB, where he will now be known as the borrower. Then Ali Hadi must accept the LO and return it back to MTB. When the loan is approved, the loan of RM650,000 will be known as end financing, and MTB will be known as the end financier. Then, the next step that Ali Hadi must be aware of would be the step for letter of undertaking. For letter of undertaking, the bank solicitor will then request for an undertaking from the developer solicitor, the developer, and also the bridging financier. The letter of undertaking from the developer shall contain an undertaking that upon execution and stamping of Form 14A, the developer solicitor shall forward to the bank solicitor the duly stamped of Form 14A. Then also the original title, together with the registration fees and penalty if there is any. The letter of undertaking from the developer shall contain, firstly, the confirmation that the deficient sum has been fully paid, and then the confirmation whether the title is charged to any bank or particular bridging financier. It is also an undertaking inter alia to obtain and forward the consent to transfer from state authority if the title is subject to restriction in interest, and also to forward to the developer solicitor or the purchaser financier solicitor, which is also known as the PFS, the individual identity of the property free from encumbrances for the purpose of registration of Form 16A. If the title is charged to the bridging financier, the undertaking to forward the title shall be given to the bridging financier instead. Then, we move on to the redemption statement cum letter of undertaking. So the redemption statement in respect of purchaser's property and an undertaking to address end financier for bridging financier to forward duly executed discharge of charge, which is Form 16N, together with the original title upon full payment of redemption sum. Then the refund of the redemption sum in the event that the discharge of charge cannot be registered for any reason whatsoever. Once the redemption sum is paid to the bridging financier, the property will be discharged, whereby the bridging financier will execute Form 16N, which is the charge, to be registered together with Form 16A and also Form 14A. So, in applying this for Ali Hadi, as discussed earlier, Ali Hadi has applied for a loan for MTD, therefore MTD will be known as the End Financial. So here, MTD solicitor would then request for an undertaking from Angkasa Development Sdn Bhd solicitor, Angkasa Development and also Singa Malaya Bank SMB since the property is charged to them. Angkasa Development Solicitor Sdn Bhd must also ensure that in the undertaking, upon execution and stamping of Form 14A, Angkasa Development Solicitor shall forward to SMB the duly stamped Form 14A, the original title which is received by Angkasa Development together with the registration fees. As for Angkasa Development Sdn Bhd, they must prepare a confirmation that the differential sum has been fully paid. In Ali Hadi's situation, the price of the house is 730,000, and then he paid 10% of the deposit payment, which amounts to 73,000, which will then be left with 657,000 total amount to be paid. After taking the loan, Ali Hadi will be having a 650,000 loan, where after minusing with the purchase price of the house, there will be a leftover amount of 7,000 ringgit. This 7,000 ringgit is the differential sum that has to be paid by Ali Hadi. Then, Angkasa Development must also confirm whether the title is charged to any bank. In this situation, the title is indeed encumbered to SMB. Since the title is charged to SMB, the developer must give the details of SMB to the bank solicitor. The developer must confirm upon payment of the redemption sum by MTD to the SMB. The amount of money received by SMB shall be progress payment of the payment of purchase price according to third schedule of SPA. Here, SMB's outstanding loan is RM 250,000 ringgit. Therefore, the payment of 250,000 ringgit by MTB to SMB is considered as progressive payment since there is an outstanding loan needed to be paid to SMB. Also, since the title is not subjected to any restriction in interest, there is no need to obtain and forward the consent to transfer from the state authority. However, there is still an undertaking that must be forwarded to Angkasa Development Solicitor or MTB Solicitor, which is the individual title to the property that is free from encumbrances, so that MTB Solicitor can register Form 16A. This is because no registration of the liens can be done until and unless the relevant form is accompanied by the original title. Since the title is charged to SMB, the undertaking to forward the title shall be given by SMB instead of Angkasa Development, since the title is at SMB. The third and last letter that must be obtained by MTB solicitor is the redemption statement cum letter of undertaking from SMB. Here, SMB must prepare a redemption statement in respect of Ali Hadi's property, which is a confirmation given by SMB in regards to the redemption sum that must be paid to SMB by MTB. Next, SMB must promise to forward the duly executed discharge of charge, which is Form 16N, together with the original title upon full payment of the redemption sum, and promise to refund the redemption sum in the event that the discharge of charge cannot be registered for any reason whatsoever. Once the redemption sum is paid to SMB, the property will be discharged, whereby SMB will execute Form 16N to be registered together with Form 14A and also Form 16A.
Assalamualaikum and greetings. I shall now continue where my learned friend Iqmal had left off, and we shall now proceed with security documents. Essentially, we will have to prepare the security documents in order for us to purchase the land. The security documents can be divided into two types, which are through the conventional banking as well as through the Islamic method of banking. Under conventional banking, we shall now apply with Ali Hadi's situation, and that is, if Ali Hadi were to apply the conventional banking method, then he will have to need 4 copies of facility or loan agreement, and secondly, 4 copies of Form 16A and its annexure. If Ali Hadi were to choose the Islamic banking or commodity murabaha, he will require 4 copies of commodity murabaha facility agreement and 4 copies of Form 16A and its annexure. The reason why Ali Hadi is preparing the security documents is maybe because the land has not been transferred, the title and the original title has not been transferred to him yet. The land needs to be transferred to his name in order for there to be the actual security document or Form 16A to be charged over a land that he is the owner. Therefore, it may be advisable for Ali Hadi to lodge a private caveat over the land through Form 19B and its withdrawal when all the security documents are ready and that the land has finally been transferred into his name as under Form 19G. After the redemption sum has been paid to SMB by MTB, SMB will be discharging the land as under Form 16N. The lodgement of the caveat is not necessary unless Ali Hadi has trust in the developer. The lodgement of the caveat is not necessary if the developer immediately transfers the land into Ali Hadi's name through the registration, the presentation, and the execution of Form 14A. And once that is done, only then the end financier, which is MTB, can finally charge the land, which is under Ali Hadi's title or name, as under Form 16A. And that is why, perhaps with the lodgement of the private caveat, it is an interim or a temporary way to stop the developer from dealing or transferring the land away, and as a process pending the transferation or the transfer of Form 14A to Ali Hadi and the final preparation and the completion of the security documents, including Form 16A and the loan facility. Moreover, there needs to be the land search on the title to ensure that Ali Hadi has the title in his name, and a bankruptcy search on the borrower to see if Ali Hadi is bankrupt, and there will be the winding up. And finally, that Ali Hadi will have to pay the bill of costs for the payment of the bank solicitor fees and disbursement. The security documents will have to be executed as well, and that Ali Hadi will have to execute the security documents, and once it is executed by Ali Hadi, the borrower has to pay the bank solicitor's fee. The bank solicitor will have to witness and attest Ali Hadi's signature, and that the bank solicitor will have to forward the facility agreement and Form 16A to the bank for bank's execution. The MTB will be executing the facility agreement and Form 16A by its authorized officer appointed by MTB, and MTB will have to return the documents to the bank solicitors for them to witness and attest the signature of MTB by its authorized signatory, and solicitor needs to ensure that MTB provide the relevant details of its authorized signatory who signed the documents. Finally, we'll be going to the stamping. For the security documents, including the facility agreement and Form 16A, the law provides that in order for there to be the stamping, they have provided the provisions, which is under Item 27, Paragraph A, Proviso 3 of the Stamp Act 1949, where the original principal document for full stamp duty is RM5 for every 1,000 ringgit of the loan, and Item 27B of the Stamp Act 1945, the subsidiary document of RM10 for each copy. The letter of stamp Form 16A endorsement, which is Section 16B of Stamp Act 1949, the duplicate or counterpart must be endorsed if the principal document is not Form 16A. Since we are discussing on the types of loan, Ali Hadi might be applying the original might be applying for the commercial banking or the Islamic banking type of loan, and that for the commercial banking, it is the principal document, the facility agreement, and if Ali Hadi is applying the Islamic banking, it is the original principal document, which is the property sale agreement, and that the purchase agreement for real property is exempt from stamp duty. So this is how we calculate the stamping for Ali Hadi, and that the amount of loan taken by Ali Hadi from Maju Tourist Bank MTB is RM650K. And the total amount stamp duty to be paid on the security documents will be as follows. And that the principal documents, the original facility agreement, RM650K divided by 1,000 times 5, 3,250 ringgit. The other copies of this facility agreement is 10 ringgit times 3, RM30. And the subsidiary documents is Form 16A, whereby it is multiplied by 4, the RM10, which is RM40. And in total, we will get RM3,250 and RM30 plus RM40, which is equivalent to RM3,320. That will be my part, and I shall now allow my learned friend, Mr. Zul, to proceed with his part of the presentation.
So the lodgement of private caveat will be made together with the advice letter to release the redemption sum. So as in this phase, the purchaser's financial solicitor will have to prepare an advice letter to the end financier, i.e. the purchaser's bank, to release the redemption sum to the bridging financier, having that the private caveat can be made to protect the bank interest upon the property's charge has been discharged. So the advice letter addressed to the purchaser's bank will certainly declare the security document that have been stamped and executed, the differential sum that has been paid, and also the private caveat that can be made upon releasing the redemption and discharging the charge. This is in accordance to the provisions stated in the third schedule of sales and purchase agreement, where the bank is advised to release the redemption sum upon receipt of notice of progressive payment from the developer. As in this current situation, the purchaser financial solicitor will act on behalf of Ali Hadi in preparing the advice letter towards the Maju Terus Bank to release the redemption sum amounting to 250,000 ringgit. As stated above, the advice letter must be declared on the security document and its execution, and it must also declare whether or not the differential sum has been fully paid by Ali Hadi, which the confirmation of the receipt of payment can be obtained from the developer, which is Angkasa, and also the ability to lodge the private caveat upon the discharge of the charge to protect the interest of Maju Terus Bank. So once the redemption sum is released and the charge has been discharged by the bridging financial, the party may proceed with the registration process, where the presentation of security document can be made at the land office. The important things in this process are that the original IDT and its registration fees must also be included during the presentation at the land office. Therefore, the purchaser's financial solicitor, Ali Hadi, would have to bring along Form 16N, Form 19G or consent from bridging financial, Form 16A, and original IDT for the presentation and its registration at the land office. There is also a need to duly present the executed document and stamp Form 14A with its registration fees that can be obtained from the developer solicitor. You must also be aware that the purchaser financial solicitor would have to make sure that the CTC of the current year is paid, the quit rent, and also the assessment receipt. After the presentation has been made, the party may proceed to release the full payment to the developer as mentioned in the third schedule. So in the event that the title is charged to the bridging financial, this will be the second advice to bank to release the balance of loan sum upon payment of redemption sum, and also the presentation of the security document made during the registration. Therefore, Ali Hadi's purchaser financial solicitor would prepare an advice letter to Maju Terus Bank to release the full loan amount to developer according to the schedule of payment of third schedule of SPA after paying the redemption sum to the SMB. Since Ali Hadi's purchaser financial solicitor would already have paid the redemption sum and presented the security document during the registration, this second advice letter will inform SMB for this. There would also be the enclosed photocopy of presentation of the statement, and same goes to the differential sum, which upon the inquiry made for the letter of undertaking, Ali Hadi is assumed to have fully paid the differential sum to proceed in the transaction. Last but not least, after the original title and also the Form 16A is duly registered at the land office or the office registrar, purchaser financial solicitor of Ali Hadi can collect the original title and duplicate the charge of Form 16A and forward the same to the purchaser's bank, which is the MTB, and also the copies of duly stamped of Form 14A and Form 16A to be forwarded to the borrower, as in this case, Ali Hadi. That's all. Thank you.